Hey, what's up? This is Josh Todd from Buckcherry, and you're checking out May the Rock Be With You.
Josh, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's happening?
Nothing, man. Friday morning, nice and early.
I've been doing a few of these, and that's what everybody keeps saying to me. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's afternoon here, so I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, I've got to work today anyway, so it's perfect. It's just before work starts.
All right.
Lovely, mate. Absolute pleasure to talk to you again. Welcome back to May the Rock Be With You.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. Now, we've spoken a couple of times before, and the last time was just over 2 years ago. Now, let's catch up. How have the last 2 years been for you?
2020 was crazy, but we did manage to make a really great record, so that's good. 29 is my internet okay?
It's dropping out a little bit.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2019, we toured a lot on the Warpaint record. Really, really love that record as well, and had a really good run with that. We did about 154 shows that year. Come into 2020, we were going to continue to tour because we had more territories to get to, and the dates just started going away, month after month. And so had to meet with my manager and Stevie, and we just started talking, and I said, hey, listen, by the time the dust settles, it's going to be like, over, it's going to be like 2 years since our last record, so we need to just focus on making a record. And that's a great way to challenge our energy. And whenever this band's faced with a lot of adversity, we always make our best records, and this record, Hellbound, that drops June 25th, is up there with the best BC record.
Oh, man, I love it. I got it yesterday, and I listened to it about 3 or 4 times, and it's just such a constant record from you guys. It's just like from start to finish, I didn't at one time go like, oh, skip. It was just perfect. I loved it. But,
That's awesome, man. I
yeah.
love hearing that. We worked really hard to get there. We wrote about 28 songs to get to a 10-song record that you could put on and leave on, so
Yeah.
that's always the goal.
Nice. Now, what was the process like creating this one compared to your previous albums?
Whatever that's going to be, we try to get the best song out of everything that we write, whatever type of song it is, so and then we're really thorough. We like to write a lot of them because you could have like a bunch of like hard rocking songs and then a bunch of like mid-tempo songs and so on, but there's going to be one that's like really great, and so if you take one out of every one of those groups, you got to write like 30 songs to get to your goal or whatever, and so yeah, that's kind of our process, and the more songs you write, the better you get during a writing cycle. That's what we figured out. Like songs like Hellbound and So Hot and Wasted No More Time, No More Lies, all those songs came right at the end,
Oh,
so those are really great songs. Hellbound was the last song we wrote and one of my favorites, so that's kind of the process for us.
yeah. When you write a song like Hellbound and then the album becomes called Hellbound, was it because of that, or is there a certain meaning behind the name?
No, I just like one word titles for
Yeah.
records. I just think that it has way more of an impact. It's, you know what I mean? Like anytime you make a record like a long sentence long, everybody always condenses it into like 2 words, like, like Sergeant Pepper's, for instance, everybody just calls it Sergeant Pepper's, or, I don't know, so on and so forth, my manager wanted it to be called Breaking Through the Barricade, and we threw that around for a while. But we wanted Hellbound at the beginning, and he thought that it sounded too much like a metal record, and I was like, it doesn't sound like that. It's classic, But anyways, everybody has to have their process, and eventually he came back to Hellbound because Marty, our producer, he liked Hellbound too, and he's actually the guy who came. He threw out Hellbound as a word when he gave me the music to that song. He's like, yeah, you could title that thing like Hellbound or something. And I was like, Hellbound. And I just didn't think anything of it because it just sounded so weird to me. And I left, and like he planted this seed, and I kept thinking about that. And I started thinking about the first time I played a show, the turning point for me when I was a teenager, and that's when I knew there was no going back. That record, that rock and roll was going to be it for me. That's when I sold my soul.
Nice. I love that. Now, I want to talk about Marty because you brought Marty back into the production chair. He was on Black Butterfly a few albums back. Now, going back to him, what did he bring to this album that you feel may have been missing on the last few records?
So much. He's just, he's really great with singers, and he really is great with melody, and he's a great guitar player as well, and he's a great drummer. He's just he just works well with us. He understands us, and we've co-written songs with him in the past. And so getting in a room with him was like so refreshing and fun. And, he's writing songs all the time. So like when we leave him, he continues to write with other artists, so we knew when we got there, Stevie and I, like we did 1 week of songwriting in Nashville with Marty after we had written 22 songs, me and Stevie. So we get in there and we're like, we got that songwriting muscle is strong, and so we went in and we knew we had to bring our A game.
Were you guys able to record together?
Yeah, but we would track it. Stevie and Marty would work on the music. I would take the music back to the hotel room. I would write lyrics and melodies. I would come in the next day and sing it down.
Nice. Such a good process. It was so good. Like, I know a lot of artists were delaying records and, making them in isolation and bouncing things around. So it's kind of cool you could get together and, make a record properly.
Oh, yeah. No, we flew to Nashville and we were in a room together.
Nice. Now, over time, you guys have been together a long time now. It's very easy to say what can change, but what's the one thing for you guys that you feel has stayed the same in your time together?
What stayed the same? Being true to who we are, that's really it. I mean, we've been kind of on our own little island since the beginning. We dropped our first record in 1999, and there just hasn't been a band like us. There wasn't a band like us then. That was when like it was the rap rock movement was happening, and those kind of nerd rocky bands, like the Weezers, those type of bands, and so there wasn't anything like Buckcherry, and then we would go through the next phase, the 2000s, and there's still, we were on a island all ourselves, because then rock turned into kind of like this active rock thing, and that wasn't us either. So we've been surviving for 22 years now, and just kind of been doing our own thing. We have an amazing fan base. We worked really hard on the road, and I think that's where it all paid off.
I think the one thing about you guys, like you just said with the road, you shine live. Live is where people need to see you guys. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously last year, no one was playing. Have you missed it? Are you coming back soon? What's happening? Anything planned?
Yeah, we did probably like 11 shows in 2020. We still did play some shows, and we've done about 6 or 7 shows this year. But yeah, we started full on June 20, 5 dates in the United States booked. So we're going to do those, and then hopefully you guys will be ready to let us in, and we'll get over there.
Well, I was going to say that. I know it's a long way off yet, but have you had even talks about coming back internationally?
Yeah, the problem is you don't want to just go to one territory. You want to kind of link them together. So everybody's got to be ready to let us in. That's really just what we're waiting for.
Yeah, it's a long way to fly here.
Then we book the shows. Yeah.
3 or 4 shows in Australia and then fly back home. It's a big effort.
No, see, we like to go Australia, Japan, then the UK,
Okay. Right. Well, fingers crossed. Like, I think they're talking next year, and it'd be nice just to get some rock and roll back.
Yes, it would be lovely. I hear you guys are having shows there, but it's all local talent,
Yeah, well, it's amazing though, because it's actually giving those guys a chance to shine. Like, it's giving them.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I know. Sure. Danny is a friend of mine from Silverback. He's out there pushing the local stuff and getting it going. He's looking forward to catching up. And I think he said,
I love him. I love him. Please tell him I said hello.
I certainly will do. Now, last year we've said, what a doozy. What, if anything, did 2020 teach you as a musician and a person that you'll now maintain throughout your life?
Wow. What did it teach me? Patience, for sure. I'm a very impatient person, and I'm a workaholic. It kind of made me slow down, which I needed to do, and, focus on my family, and focus on myself, and just getting myself kind of aligned spiritually again, you know. That's pretty much what it taught me.
Yeah, nice. I mean, and like before we were saying with the songwriting, did that get the creative juices flowing when you were at home? Like you said, you wrote a lot of songs. Can we expect another album sooner rather than later now because there's so much?
You know, Hellbound's got some long legs. I mean, it's a really great record, and my goal is to make a video for every song on the record. So we're all kind of focused that way. It's a different way of marketing a Buckcherry record this time around. We're really doing things a lot different than we've done in the past, as far as where we allocate funds on how to market a rock record now, because it's all changed. I mean, it's been changing this whole time, but it's really changed. So we're doing a whole different. We have a whole different formula that we're working on right now. So and for a long time, and because that's what we do on every record, and then we'll go back and reassess it. We do have a few really great songs in the just on the cutting room floor right now.
Yeah, nice. And you've also jumped labels. You're on a new label across the world, basically, which is great. So that's
Yeah,
new opportunity as well.
yeah, and these labels that were on Roundhill Music in the States and Earache in Europe and Australia and the UK, and they've been so amazing. You know, I gotta say, shout out to those guys, because they really on it, and they really are passionate about this record. So it really means a lot to us after we've, you know, basically been on so many different labels and have been through so many peaks and valleys. To have them that enthusiastic after all these years is really great.
Yeah, and to kick it off with this record is a great way to start with them too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to buying some vinyl. You're bringing it out, I think, in about 48 different colors. I think you're bringing out the.
There are a lot of different colors, aren't there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. I'll be picking a couple up.
I don't know a lot about vinyl, but the vinyl sold out right when it happened, and we had to reorder vinyl, you know. So it's going really well. I'm glad people are into that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Now, what we do every time, we try and predict the future a little bit. So I want you to finish this sentence for me. By the end of 2021, Buckcherry will.
Wow. Buckcherry will be a headlining arena rock act by the end of 2021.
About time too. I think that should definitely need to happen.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait. Lovely. Mate, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time again.
Okay, man. Be good. Cheers.
I'll see you in Sydney.
All right, buddy. Bye.
See you. Bye.